Hey guys, this is Rob with 140.6 Media. Today I got with me Dr. Scott Leslie, 2013 Ironman Lake Placid finisher. He's going to be our tour guide today for the MightyMan Weekend half iron and Olympic distance races, and I believe sprint too, right?
Sprint distance, yes.
Okay, so as we go along, Scott's going to be the one to tell you what to look out for, what to be excited for, what's ahead for you. So, Scott, we're just about on the course. Tell us what we're doing.
Okay, guys, you're going to be coming out of transition here with your bike, and we're making a left on Edgemere. As we make this left and we wait for the trucks to come by, on the corner there's going to be a bottle exchange. So if you're doing the half iron distance, when you do the turnaround, there will be an exchange for different fluids. But
what's the drink on course? Do the Gatorade, Powerade perform? What do they serve usually?
There's been heat in the past. There's been some water. I think depends on the event organizer on what type of arrangement they make. But I think there's been a couple different choices. I did the race in 2011. I'm not sure if it's changed each race year. But you'll be starting here for the sprint, the Olympic, and the half Ironman. The sprint's usually on the Saturday. But as we come out of transition, pretty much flat road here for the first half mile or so.
Is it open to traffic? Is it open to traffic, or is this a closed course? Do you have to deal with cars, or are the guys riding up on the shoulders?
There's a lot of police on the road. It's semi-closed. Rarely ever run into any problems with traffic. There will be some traffic on the road, but most of the time on a Saturday or Sunday morning in Montauk, there's not many cars on the road to begin with. So you do have to be careful and stay on the shoulder on the road, and the event organizer usually recommends that. So there will be cars. You have to keep an eye at it, but they're pretty well policed at the proper intersections.
Okay, so Power Event LI really does a good job working with law enforcement in keeping the course safe for you.
Definitely. Event Power does a great job with all their races, and especially this one. This is the preeminent race. I don't want to speak for them, but I think this is their signature race here on Long Island, usually in late September, early October at times. So again, this is still a pretty flat section of the course when you first come out of transition.
As we go along the bike course, for the swim, you said the race is in like September, you said?
Yeah, late September. Just to mention, Rob, that this section here that we're about hitting is a little bit of an incline. So not that the south shore of Long Island is that hilly, but there will be surprisingly some hills on the course. In this section here, you'll see some people that aren't as advanced. They'll be spinning up this hill.
And I can attest that we are definitely making a climb, you know. Yeah. This is definitely one where you're going to be shifting a little bit if you're an average to moderately experienced cyclist. This was about, I don't know, a little over a quarter mile of a pretty decent climb. I mean, it wasn't pop-up air, but it was definitely a serious climb, and we're still climbing, as a matter of fact. We're about to crest right about here. Here's our crest.
And you will have the payoff, because as soon as we crest, you're going to have a nice downhill section that you'll carry some good speed. About right here, you'll start going downhill. So, you know, the work that you just put in, you'll be able to give your legs a little bit of break in the beginning of the race.
Nice, that's what I'm talking about.
But you were saying about the swim.
Yeah, what's the water temp like?
The water temp, if I recollect, is like in the mid-60s or so. They recommend wetsuits, definitely. I rarely see anyone not wear a wetsuit, but there are a few. But I definitely recommend having a wetsuit.
Are there any great white sharks?
There are no great white sharks. I learned that on my way out here to Montauk this morning. But no great, not in the sections that we're on. Definitely not in Fort Pond. Fort Pond is a pretty calm lake. I mean, today as we were filming, there was a little chop in the water, but pretty calm, and again, nice course to ride. So again, we're going to be coming down. You can start leveling out now. We just went through a nice downhill section. Up here at the stop sign, you're going to be making a right-hand turn on Westlake Drive. This intersection we'll come back to later, because there'll be a little lollipop section for the sprint, the Olympic, and the half Ironman. But right now we'll make a right-hand turn. This is Westlake Drive. We're about 2.5 miles into the course right now. This will still be the flat section of the course.
What are the crowds like here? Do the citizens of Montauk, do they buy into this race, and do they support it by sitting in their lawn chairs on the side of the road during race day?
Definitely. You know, you're not going to get the scene of the thousands of people that you see up in Lake Placid for the Ironman, but there are people that they'll have little barbecues in their front yard. They're sitting there with their cowbells, so you will get some support on some of these roads, just to kind of give you a little boost. So you do get support with the town.
Nice. So we're about 2.5 miles into the course, give or take. How far apart are all the aid stations?
Actually, on the bike course, the only aid station they have is where we came out of transition for the water bottles. So about, if you're doing the half Ironman is 2 loops, 28 miles each loop. You only have an aid station at the transition area.
Really?
So yeah, that's the only thing that you have to prepare for when you come out on the course is to fuel up your bike. You know, with the obviously with the sprint, you usually don't need anything, and the Olympic you're doing, you know, you also don't need anything. But yeah, you're only going to get the water bottles there. I don't believe they've changed anything, but most people don't have any problems. You know, a lot of you are training with your nutrition anyway.
Right.
So again, this is still a very flat section. In June, there's a race called the MightyMan Montauk, but this part of the course is usually your first, second, or third mile, and Lake Montauk is off to our left, a different body of water where the swim is taken care of. So again, you're just nice flat section here. You know, some advanced riders are pounding. You're going to gain a lot of speed on this particular section.
I just noticed we just went over 2, you know, false flat rollers.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah, you will find that on this course. We're going to be on East Lake Drive in a little while, and you're going to see some really small rollers there. So there's, if I haven't mentioned it, about 2,200 feet gain that the Event Power puts on their website. You know, talking to a few racers and their Garmin data, I've seen as little as 1,600. So again, we're not talking about billy goat climbing here, but there's definitely you will work, and you do have to watch yourself on some of the hills unless you're a stud or studette bike rider,
which we've seen plenty of
Yes.
in our time.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
It's now, how many times have you done this race?
I've done the sprint last year. I've done the half Ironman 1 time, so I guess twice. And now coming up here, Rob, we're going to make a left-hand turn. This is a kind of a triangular turnaround section. Now, for those of you who are going to be doing the sprint, what's going to happen, there's going to be a lot of police here at the intersection. You're just going to pretty much do a U-turn and head back where we just came on the sprint. For the half Ironman and the Olympic, we're going to make a left-hand turn. This is getting back on the Montauk Highway. We're pretty much heading now towards the lighthouse. But yeah, I did the sprint. I've done the half Ironman once, and I've done actually the MightyMan Montauk in June, which is a very similar bike course, which we can always talk about later. So again, we're kind of going up a false flat here after that turn. And this is where, if you want to say there's climbing in Montauk, we're about to hit a few hills coming up that will test you.
And it's kind of amazing, you know, being from the Jersey Shore, you know, being close to the ocean, we really don't have that many hills as we see on the Challenge Atlantic City course. So when you start hearing about climbs on you know, the eastern end of Long Island, you're kind of shocked. You hear 1,600 feet, 2,000 feet of climbing on the eastern end of Long Island, and you're shocked.
Yeah, they're exactly that. You know, us that, you know, locals that live on Long Island, usually when you're looking for hills, especially when you're training for some of the you know, tougher climbs in, say, Treblon or Ironman, you're looking on the North Shore of Long Island. I presume there will not be this road construction when you guys come out here, but right now we're going through some. But you know, you're going to come out here to Montauk and train if you're not hitting the North Shore of Long Island, if you're going to try to find the closest hills.
Okay.
But so coming up here now, we're going to start in about 50 yards. We're going to get a nice little one of the smaller hills here, but we're going to start, you know, you're going to be going into an easier gear now.
And we're I don't know, we're give or take 5 miles into the road.
at that turnaround, that triangle, we're about 5 miles in. So yeah, we're probably 6, 7, 8 miles into the ride right now. So again, this is a hill. If you can't tell from the camera, we are coming up. You're not pounding away at this particular section of the course.
And here's the payoff.
Yeah, now you're gonna get a little payoff, and then
goodness, look at that.
Then coming up here, going eastbound on this road, this is the hill here that you're going to definitely work out. It's going to take us up to the overlook. There's a riding stable on the left. Now, starting about right here, if you can't tell, guys, it's a pretty steep climb.
Guys, this is a climb. This is work right here.
Yeah, and you will see a lot of people spinning, getting up to the top of this. Again, is it a mile climb? No, but it is pretty short and steep getting up here. If you overtax yourself, it could pay. You may pay for it later in the run.
But there's the payoff, guys. Look at that view. You know what, guys? We're gonna slow down, and we're gonna try to work the camera a little here so you can see all around us. This is absolutely amazingly beautiful.
This is probably one of the nicest areas on Long Island, especially to do a triathlon, so it's pretty secluded. But you'll see when we get up to the lighthouse, you're pretty much at the end, and that's why they call Montauk the end. You'll see it. So again, now we're just a slight little downhill, a small little roller we're coming up to now, where this red car is on your right. You can see that.
Now, for a course like this, does it make a big difference whether someone would bring, their time trial tri-bike or their road bike?
No, I think it's not hilly enough that you have to go with your road bike. I think if you have a time trial bike, you would definitely be better suited with the time trial bike, in my opinion. There's definitely climbs here, but nothing that you're having those climbs we just saw, you probably don't even have to come out of the saddle if you're gearing properly. This section here that we're on, it's not as steep as the other, but you will, you have like a false flat coming up here. This is heading out to the lighthouse.
Well, we were just on a false flat just now. We came down off that last hill, guys, and there was no break. You came down off that hill and went right into what looks to be about a half a mile of a false flat climb.
Mm-hmm. And again, this is, and coming out here, you'll see some volunteers periodically, but since there's really no intersections from here all the way out to the lighthouse, you're not going to see too much activity other than other racers on both sides of the road. We'll be coming back down this road, so you'll see some racers on the other side. But
pretty good way to figure out where you stand, but
right.
For me, when I come back the other side of the road's pretty damn lonely.
Yeah, this was my first half iron distance, and it definitely is a good test for those that are looking to come out here. Now we're pretty much going to come up here. It's going to kind of we're going to do a little loop-de-loop around near where the lighthouse is. So we're going to stay to our right, and you probably caught a little bit of the lighthouse, but we're going to go right near it now. Again, this will be just pretty much going to have this. You're going to gain a little speed here in about 50 yards. You're going to go right around the lighthouse. Those who have done the course before are familiar with this.
This looks like fun.
Yeah, it is. It very is. Yeah, if you can ignore the pain in your quads and your heart rate and enjoy the surroundings, there's not too many better places on Long Island.
Guys, you know what, guys? This race is a must-do. So far, everything I've seen here has been absolutely gorgeous. Everything. Hey, longboarder.
Yeah, there's a surfer for you.
All right, we're gonna slow down here a second, and there's the lighthouse, guys. That is the lighthouse, and this looks like we are. Scott, tell me if I'm wrong here. We are at the turnaround. We're going home now.
Yeah, we're basically turning around. We're still only about 8 to 10 miles out, but yeah, we are going to be turning around the lighthouse. But you'll see water all the way around, and as we kind of joked on our way over, the next stop is either Block Island or England, okay, or the west coast of Europe. But if you get a chance to do this race, and
is that Block Island out there?
That probably is Block Island out there. It's a pretty clear day today, so we can see you'll see a lot of fishermen out there. If you are staying out here for the weekend, which a lot of people do, especially if they're coming from the city or Jersey, you can go to the lighthouse for some tourist stuff, and there's a restaurant here that you can eat overlooking the water, and you can see there's a lot of people even out here today. and we passed a few tri-bikes training.
Yes, we did.
So again, you'll come around and listen. If you got this little hill coming here, about 100 yards worth, it's not a mountain, but it will test you.
What I think is amazing about this course so far is the natural beauty of the course. I think the natural beauty of a course can make or break your day, I think, because let's face it, this is a 56-mile course. It's a long day.
Exactly.
And if you got stuff to look at, like that beautiful lighthouse, if you've got wildlife and this and that, something to keep your mind off of the pain.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
always a winner.
So yeah, now we're basically on the road that took us right to the lighthouse. So we're just gonna, this section's not too bad right here. We're going a little bit of a downhill, and there'll be a slight false flat. But again, if you looked off to the right, you'd still see a section of the Sound. The stop is Connecticut, but again, you're not going to see too many people out here yet other than racers, because it's pretty quiet, especially on a Saturday or Sunday morning. But you can see why the race organizers salivate to put a race out here, and why it's such an ideal location on Long Island to do one.
It really is. This is, this just got put on the 140.6 media calendar as I'm beyond impressed with this bike course.
Right. This is a must-do. If you're a Long Islander and you're off, even New Jersey, Connecticut, people come from all over to do this race. And, if there's one on Long Island you need to do, you got to get out here to Montauk and race this course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, worth mentioning, as we're approaching, I believe we can see it on the camera, we're going to be coming down a little bit of a hill, but then we're going to be climbing up the hill that we had gained that advantage on climbing up the other side. So we're going to pretty much have to go back up it, coming down from the other side.
Yeah, and I'm going to slow down just so you guys can watch the car in front of us climb, just so you can get an idea of what we're looking at here. So there you go.
So those of you who are, not as advanced, even the advanced are going to have to spin this a little bit. If you're a top age grouper, if there was someone that was pro that was doing this, they probably wouldn't have too much trouble, but you would have to come up. And now we're going to come down. You want to gain as much speed on this hill here, because what's going to happen is this is the upward section of the beginning of the downhill on the other side. So you're going to be definitely spinning up this one too. This is the overlook, which is about 1,000 feet. And people will be struggling, especially on the second loop.
Oh yeah.
You got to be very careful on this side.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can definitely see the second loop, punishing people on these hills. There's open ocean out there.
Okay. You can see a few houses that we'd all like to own. But now we're coming down, so you're going to gain as much speed on this as you can. So you'll be in a tuck. Now they've had rain out here a couple of times, so you're going to be careful on some of those white lines and everything. But the road is usually pretty clear.
What's the average number of entrants into this race? So how many people will line up? 1,000?
Well, for the half Ironman, it's unusual because they have the different distances. So on the sprint, I think they're somewhere around 200 or so. I'd have to check Event Power's site. The half Ironman has somewhere been around 300, and then the Olympic has been around 200 or 300. So the day of the half Ironman, that's Sunday, you could have about 500, 600, 700 people here on the course. So you're definitely not going to be by yourself when you're out here. Now coming up, we're going to be going on East Lake Road, which with all the construction, which I think is right up here where these guys are going. Here we go. So you're going to be coming down the hill, you're going to be making a right-hand turn. There's usually someone standing here telling you to make the turn. I would slow down because when you make the turn, there's a slight little dip. And there's this little historical bridge here. Now from here, this is going to be one of the first out and back sections that both the Olympic and the half Ironman will be doing. Again, the sprint distance will not be on this section of the course. Okay, I will talk about that again where we did that turnaround at the triangle section when we turned out on Main Street again. But you're going to have a few rollers here, nothing overwhelming. but you will kind of do some little ups and downs. And this is a section that you will see some of the homeowners out here on the corner, you know, ringing their cowbell. You have some people that train out here all year long. Maybe they're not doing the race that day.
But they're showing the love.
They're showing the love, exactly. And so there's a little windy road. And again, this is pretty smooth road.
Definitely. This is, guys, this is great road condition. This is good riding right here.
Yeah, I don't see too much trouble with this, but this is going to take us out to kind of a parking area that we're going to do a little loop-de-loop. And when you get to the parking area, there's usually going to be a photographer there, at least in the past, so you'll make sure you're in your perfect position for those photographs afterwards.
Smile pretty.
Exactly.
So we're about, what, mile 9 or 10 into this by now?
Yeah, you're probably a little bit more than that. We're probably about, 12, 13 miles into it, give or take.
So folks should be eating and drinking by now.
Exactly. This is a good section for that. And again, it's pretty quiet that day. You don't really have to worry about too much car traffic. There will be some cars on the road. I found when I've done the races out here, they give you plenty of room. It is early morning on Saturday, Sunday morning in Montauk, and by definition, there's not that much traffic. So you don't really, safety is always a concern, but at any race here on the island, this is the least amount of concern. And we're kind of going up against Lake Montauk on the left, which we said the Mighty Montauk in June is held, but we're coming towards the end here.
Is there SAG? Is there bike repair? So if you get a flat or you have a chain problem or something like that, do they supply road assistance to the athletes?
There is a road assistance. I think they may have changed it. There's a local shop in town. I'd love to give them a plug. I don't have it off the top of my head that does the road assistance. They're out there, and so yeah, you don't have any problems with that at all. They'll be around if you happen to get a flat, or we passed a biker there, and it doesn't look like she's on a tri-bike, but at least she's out there.
At least she's out there.
Yeah, exactly. And
so I guess we're coming up to the turnabout.
Right. So this boatyard that you'll see up here, a little bit past that, you'll see it will end, and we'll be kind of overlooking the sound. We're going to do a loop-de-loop around a looks like a little outhouse type of building that you'll be able to go into. So we're getting to the end of this first out and back. This is one of the faster sections of the course.
The Krabby Cowboy Cafe.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, just up ahead. You can see this is a pretty lengthy out and back. So sometimes we're going to hit a couple out and backs that are pretty short. They're about 1.5 miles, 2 miles. This is about 6 miles out and back. 3 miles there, 3 miles back.
Well, what's making this out and back so interesting are the homes and the buildings, the homes, the architecture. This is really something else.
There's another restaurant here in front of us. A lot of these restaurants out here will close during the winter and reopen here in the spring. Now right here we're entering the parking lot, so we're going to stay, you're going to pretty much see a photographer right there in front of you. We're going to loop around here.
So you just loop right around this little island?
Go around the building over here.
Oh, you loop around the building?
See that building, you're going to go straight out and we see the sound out in front of us, so again, another picturesque area. There's usually a photographer somewhere in here.
All right, we're going to slow up here, and Scott's going to tell us what we're looking at. So, straight ahead, this is the sound, and I guess this is some sort of inlet.
Yeah, this is the inlet that will lead into Lake Montauk. So those that are familiar, there's another lake that's right here. It's a saltwater lake, but we're looking into the sound. Obviously, several miles across is Connecticut. But again, another picturesque area that when you need your mind a little bit of a break on your burning quads, you'll be able to, at least look around a little bit and enjoy the view. But yeah, you'll get some. The photographer many times has been here.
So we were supposed to go all the way around that?
No, right here. No, you're perfect right here.
Okay.
And believe it or not, these bathrooms have been open in the past in that building. So for some reason, you're not.
No porta potties here. Woo!
You're not peeing on the bike and trying to save time. If you're not really worried about, a PR or podium, you could just hop off your bike and go to the bathroom there if you want to.
Like a human being.
Like a human being. Yes, exactly. But you have your choice. So now we're on that back section. We got about another 3 miles now back to the main road where we did the turnoff. So again, this will be part of the half Ironman as well as the Olympic distance race.
Yeah, Scott, sometime asked me to tell you the story of the young lady who decided to relieve herself on her bike, and I was the recipient of the residue 10 feet behind her. I think there's a reason why Ironman wants you to have a 3 bike length distance between bikes, and I'm not sure it's for drafting.
Exactly. I'm the type that, I don't need to save myself a few seconds to do that, but I understand why people do it, though.
I understand, too, but I will never, ever be in a position where I need to.
Exactly. So, again, we're just kind of, just feeding right back out to the road. Again, you will have people out here cheering you on. And
an airport.
Yeah, there's the airport with some of the smaller planes. Probably some helicopters come in. Some of the well-to-do residents out here.
Nice.
But a lot of people, when they come out for the race that weekend, they'll get hotel rooms, Thursday, Friday night. I definitely recommend, if you do it, if you're not living local, to call ahead, get a hotel room, spend the whole weekend. If the weather's good that weekend, the end of September, there could still be beach weather, plenty of beaches. So your family will, you can kind of parlay it into a little mini vacation while you're out here.
Yeah, right now, guys, I can't say enough good about this so far. The swim looks perfect. This bike course has everything you want.
Mm-hmm.
It has enough hills so that you're challenged. It's a well laid out course so far, and all the beautiful sights you could ever want.
Right. And as we know, many of us that are on Long Island, we have a lot of great race organizers. We know Event Power really takes good care of us, and this is probably, again, their premier race, and it definitely doesn't disappoint.
Well, I gotta give praise to Event Power for this, because this is really something spectacular. I'm definitely putting this on the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So, how many more out and backs do we have? We've got, what'd you say, one more after this?
Yeah, we're going to have 2 more out and backs that are shorter than this. We're going to have, when we get back to that area where we made that turn off of Flamingo Road, we're going to have a couple of sections that the half iron distance will do, but the Olympic distance won't do. They'll just continue back up the road, back to well, for them it will be the bike finish line before they get on the run. For the half iron, they'll do the 2 out and backs, but they're only about 1.5 miles, 2 miles round trip. This one's been about 6 miles, so you can see how, even though it's an out and back, it's more of an out and back.
It's almost like the original Hazleton out and back for Ironman Lake Placid before they sent the athletes out to Ausable.
Right, exactly. I didn't done the race that time, but everything on the internet, YouTube, you see that all the time. And worth mentioning too, on Long Island, this is our only half iron distance that we have run by Event Power. If you're looking for a 70.3 and you want to stay on Long Island or you want to be on the East End, this is our only choice for this distance. So, definitely worth taking a look at. And hopefully after today, you'll get a good sense of what the course is like if you're considering.
Yeah, I'm very, very impressed so far. We at 140.6 meter, we've covered a lot of bike courses so far, and some of them have been great. Some of them have been, pretty good. This one falls into the truly great.
So now we're at the end of the out and back section. So before we had come to the left was where the lighthouse was, and we're coming down through the road. So now we're hanging a right-hand turn. We're heading back like we're going back into town. And again, I'm pretty certain you won't have this road construction when the race comes.
No, I don't.
Months away, so.
And I think the closer it gets, I think the louder the promoter will scream.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure they're getting it all done before the. We're only what's today, April 9th?
Yeah, April 9th.
So we're still kind of early in the season, so they're probably trying to get it all done before Memorial Day weekend. So we're going to take this, keep going straight. Again, we're a pretty flat section now again. You know, a couple little mild rollers. Keep heading straight here. Of course, in the
now those intersections right there's going to be heavy police presence.
There will be presence at that intersection. There'll be a volunteer. Usually there's police there allowing you to get the right-hand turn. I do recommend though staying on the shoulder because there will be some cars on this road, but you can see the shoulder is roughly most sections 6-7 feet wide, maybe a little longer in certain sections. So you definitely want to stay on the right of the white line because there will be some traffic, but again, not too bad on a Sunday or Saturday morning.
It's not going to be like riding in Manhattan.
Exactly. And many of the other courses that we do, that they probably have some more logistic issues. Now coming up here is that triangle section. We're going to be making a right-hand turn. Now, for those of you that were doing the sprint, okay, we came out to this section. We kind of did a loop-de-loop here, and now we're heading back on Westlake Drive. So for the sprint, you went out of transition, you came up that section. Now this is kind of where you're resuming your ride, roughly around mile 5 or 6. And then for all of us doing the half Ironman, Olympic, you're back on the road. Not quite back into town yet, but we're heading there. So this is a flat section.
Definitely heading home though.
Now you'll get some wind on this course too a little bit at sections, especially out around the lighthouse. Around in this section's not too bad, but you definitely pay attention to the forecast if you really want to split hairs and figure out which direction the wind is coming from. We're facing north right now, so there's northeasterly winds, and you can figure out what sections of the course that you're going to have a little bit of a battle. But this is a flat section here. The sprint on this course is it's pretty close to a time trial. It's very flat, and other than those 2 hills that we're going to hit right out of transition, you can probably have a pretty fast bike split. And the sprint is about a 10.5 mile bike, and of course the Olympics are roughly the 24.9, give or take, and of course the half iron distance is as close to 56 as you're going to get.
Okay.
So again, just a nice flat section. And those of you that do the Mighty Montauk that come in June, this is again, this is the part of the section that you're going to hit. And Lake Montauk is on your right, so that body of water will, for that Olympic distance in June, is the one that you'll do.
Cool. Yeah, you would figure that you're going to see wind out here. I mean, being from the Jersey Shore, we always plan for wind, and I think being out here at the eastern tip of Long Island, with water on 3 sides of you, 2 sides being ocean, 1 side being the Sound. Yeah, I think this place is going to be a wind magnet.
Exactly. It's just hit and miss. It's always a little cooler out here,
which is a good thing.
Yeah, which is a good thing. Late September, it's a little cold in the morning. When you come out to race day, those mornings, bring those little headlights. Event Power, from a few years ago, it's amazing how much well lit they have the thing now. Again, they'll have lights at the transition area. It's always good to bring a little extra light, but they had big lights that lit up the bike area, so you really don't have to worry about that. Maybe just getting from your car. That morning, there's pretty. You park down some of the side streets. There's some public lots, especially if you're coming in from out of town. If you're staying in one of the local hotels, people just roll out and ride their bike right to the transition area.
Oh, so you don't have to rack up the night before?
No, you don't have to rack up the night before. You bring the bikes in that morning.
Oh, that's great. That's solid.
Yeah, so you're going to be making a little bit of a right-hand turn. Now, this is the little lollipop section you're going to hit. Off to the left is where we came down at a transition down that, we went up that little climb and came down, we made the right. So this is going out to an area called Gossman's Dock that you'll have nice little shops, a few nice restaurants if you're staying here for the weekend. Some of you may even have your hotels around here. And we'll come out here. This will be like another picturesque area that you'll like.
Oh, all the commercial fishing boats,
Yeah,
charter boats.
Exactly.
Very nice.
You know, and nice, you know, little, you know, novelty shops, and we'll just kind of bear the left here, and very nice here, most of the year long. Yeah, and again, we're looking out at the Sound again, and we're just going to kind of keep looping around.
Look at the difference in the watercolor. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's, you know, it changes through the year. I don't know, there may be a reason for it that I can't explain, but you know, the water is definitely pretty clear out here today. It's kind of got that nice blue tinge.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Now,
guys, you're going to love this section of the course. The only thing that will stop you from loving this section of the course is if there's wind.
Now coming here, I think this is our Soundview Drive. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Those doing the half iron distance will make a right-hand turn here. Those doing the Olympic will not make this turn.
They'll just go, keep going straight.
They'll keep going straight, and then they'll make the, we'll show it to you later, but they'll make the right-hand turn going back into town. This is the one, this is like the out and back, the second out and back. The first out and back to the half Ironman will do that the Olympic will not have to do. And it's not that long. It's about 1.5 miles out and back to that same street. And just a residential area. There will be some volunteers at that turn that will, they usually have, Event Power is very good at this too, is they'll have colored arrows as well as people manning that area saying, you know, Olympic straight, half iron to the left, or to your, will be to your right when you make the turn.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
It's really, you know, they take all that anxiety away. When I was getting into the sport, you know, I didn't know too much about race organizers, but then, you know, when I came across them, you know, I never had any anxiety after that because I know they were going to have it marked out pretty well.
Now that was just a smidge bumpy, guys. But had you stayed to the right of it,
down here, slow down. You're gonna be making a right here. This is a miniature. You're gonna do a little bit of a right-hand turn
on Captain Kidd's Path.
Exactly, Captain Kidd's Path. You're gonna see some nice little real estate that you're gonna hope to be able to buy one of these days. You know, that are right on the water. Maybe, you know, big time for location because they're right on the water.
And here's an athlete we're coming up to. Oh, that's beautiful.
And yeah, basically just do this loop. You're not going to be carrying too much speed through this area. And there'll be someone manning it when you enter here, but since there's there's not too many different directions you can go. So you're pretty much going to come around, loop around this area, make a left here, and head back out to the main road where you turned out. Again, you can see why a lot of people like to live out here.
Yeah, this is delightful. This really is something else. And there's Captain Kidd's Path.
Yeah, so this will, like I said, this will take this right back to the main road that we were on.
So, oh, that's a private beach? Oh, well, excuse me. Oh, an aristocrat.
On this section, only because it's near the water, you may have, you know, a little bit more pebbles and stuff. You know, there's not much that can be done about that. We are, you know, within 50 yards of seawater, so you're going to have little stuff you may just have to watch out for. But all intents and purposes, all the roads are reasonably smooth.
Yeah, there's been very little to complain about in terms of road conditions.
Exactly.
So now we're going to make a right up here.
Make a right-hand turn. There'll be someone here again telling you to make a right. Again, just to remind you that half Ironman will be doing that section. The Olympic will not. The Olympic would have just continued past that and continued up the road. Now up here, further up, we're going to be making a right-hand turn back onto Flamingo, which is where that American flag is, and there'll be someone manning this section. There's police at this intersection too.
Right here?
Yeah, right here. We'll make a right-hand turn. Okay, so yeah, there will be police. There will be cars here, but so you want to be cautious. But you know, for the most part, as you're making a right-hand turn, you won't have too much to worry about. We're going to be looking for Wills Pond Road, which will be the next out and back section, which will be a right-hand turn coming up, which will be another section for a half iron distance. Again, you can see a hill coming up, and
This is going to be Wills Pond.
Yeah, this may be Wills Pond here. Site.
Nope.
Okay, get a little bit further up then. So there's a little bit of a hill section here.
This is definitely a hill, you know. You know, but after the riding you've had for the last couple of miles, this is really nothing. I gotta say, for the amount of miles we've gone so far on the course, I am absolutely shocked at the number of. I'm shocked by the number of hills.
Yeah. So those on the bike will, that doing the half iron, will make that right-hand turn. This is going to be another out and back, which is about a mile in, mile out, give or take.
Homes are absolutely lovely out here. Oh, you can tell that on this out and back coming home, you're going to have a little bit of a climb on you.
Yeah, you definitely, you know, you're not going to be at top speed through this section at all. So, yeah, it's about a mile and a quarter out and back. So down here, it's going to come to an end, and you're going to kind of do a loop-de-loop around, a little bit of a quick turnaround. There it is, almost at the bottom of this hill. Yeah, some nice.
So where are we doing this?
Yeah, you're just gonna keep going. I think this ends down at the bottom here.
These homes are spectacular.
Yeah.
And it's for sale too.
Yeah, right. So this is gonna go right around this little turn here. Okay, there's usually someone sitting here in the past that I've seen. You'll loop around. So again, this is half iron distance. You'll have this little extra, since they got to get to 28 miles in, and obviously the Olympics, the 24.8, they got to make it up somewhere, so we kind of fit it in here. Again, it's very short, but there is a little bit of a grade here when you're going up the hill. So
guys, right now we're climbing.
Yes. But
on the second loop, this is not going to be fun.
yeah, the second loop. Yeah, you're gonna be you get tested on this course. I mean, this is you know, I could be mistaken, but some of our I don't know, it was Mark Allen, Event Power on their website. If you check them out, eventpowerli.com, they have some history about this race. I believe either Mark Allen, don't mark my words, some of them had done these races early on, and they had a lot of great things to say about it. So. And probably one of his early days in his career, even before his Ironman days. So we come up here to the stop sign, we're going to make a right, all right? So again, the Olympic guys and girls will not do this little section. And when we make the right, this will take us back to the transition area and or the bike finish, depending on what loop you're on or whether you're doing the Olympic. Sprint section, when we did that little lollipop, this section you'll be doing just like the Olympic. You'll be coming right back to, and you know.
So the sprint is a simple out and back.
Exactly. The sprint takes us out to that triangle turnaround section. We do that little loop around Gospin Stock, and then we pretty much come right back up like the Olympic will do. So, you know, we're only about, you know, probably two miles out from the either the turnaround or the bike finish. And you're gonna get a nice break here, starting about right now. You're gonna be going downhill.
Here comes that downhill.
Yeah.
This is that big old climb that we made coming out of town, and that big old climb is now benefiting you.
Right, and notice how big the shoulder is on that side.
It's wide.
So yeah, you'll have plenty of space. It's very safe.
And as you're coming in, if you look out, you can actually see the lake where you did your swim in.
Exactly. And then yeah, again, all these major intersections, we'll have police there. And you can get some wind on this section because now you start losing some of the tree cover, but
wow, that hill is going to set you up nice coming into home.
This section you'll start seeing, unless you're leading the pack, you're probably going to start seeing some runners, or if you're new in the half distance, you may see some Olympic runners, because the run course took us off to the right there, and they're going to be running right next to the lake, so you'll have to watch out for some of the runners. This little slip off to the right here with this truck in front of us, the run actually goes around Fort Pond and comes out here. This is roughly a 2.5 mile mark, you know, and then the run will be going back to where we just came from and going into a different area. So you will have to watch out for some runners depending on where you are on the course. The great thing about this course too is when you start heading back into transition, there's a lot of family that, you know, overflow into the road. So you'll start up ahead here seeing people, start seeing signs and motivational signs and family cheering on, you know, you and their loved ones. So.
And let's face it, signs are the best.
Right.
You know, some of the signs are very creative, like the one on Route 86 at Ironman Lake Placid this year. This is a wheelie zone.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, they have the video about that too. So right in here you'll see those signs. The runners will be on the sidewalk on your right when you're coming through, and right up here is where the start is. On the left will be the bottle exchange. You'll have a turnaround if you're doing loop 2.
All right, so now explain. Let me get off the road here.
Yeah, this is gonna be the dismount area right here. So
okay, but if you're on the first loop and you got to go back out onto the course, where are you turning around?
Right before we made that right-hand turn to where we're sitting right now, there's gonna be a turnaround that you're gonna loop around basically.
So it'll be coned off,
and you'll see people saying second loop, turn around. Excuse me. That's where you'll see the bottle exchange. Grab whatever you want, and you'll go head right back out for loop number 2 if you're doing the half distance.
Now, where's the finish line?
The finish line is right here, off to the right-hand side here. What happens is you'll come in where that bleacher is. That won't be there. There'll be a chute, a finishing chute that will be off to the right-hand side that will take you right to the finish line. The finish line's somewhere in the middle of that field. It looks like kind of a rudimentary football field, but there'll be they usually have the big finish line blown up things. Now the run will also pass through here. So this will be bike in as well as on one side, and there'll be the finish line on the right side. And then the run, when you come in to drop your bike off, will be straight down this road. You'll put your sneakers on, you'll run out where we filmed the swim in, run past that little area where that woman is in the street, and the run will take you out that road, and then you'll loop around Fort Pond, and then you can definitely reference some maps from eventpowerlongisland.com and from a lot of the other various race sites.
Okay, last thing. How is the finisher's medal for the half iron? Is it banging?
Oh, it's banging. It's as good as you can get. I mean, the finish line, the food afterwards, the support, the swag, the t-shirts, you know, everything is first class all the way.
Fantastic. For Scott Leslie, this is Rob and 140.6 Media. We'll see you at the races.
Have a great day.